Hola, mis amigos. ¿Cómo están? Senora Baez is back, and the tinsel is gone because Christmas is over. Welcome back to school. Bienvenidos. It's good to see you again. We have lots of Espanol to learn this week. So get ready. Okay, amigos, so we're going to review the days of the week, how to express the days of the week in Espanol, and basically talk about what day it is, what day was it yesterday, what day will it be tomorrow. So here we go. I'm just going to do it today since you guys are at home and you're going to be watching this on a different day. Hoy es lunes. Today is Monday. Say it with me. Hoy es lunes. Ayer fue domingo. Yesterday was Sunday. Mañana será, tomorrow will be martes, Tuesday. Okay, so I'm going to erase these, and I want you all to do the next one with just Tuesday. Okay, so let's do it with martes. Hoy es martes. What does that mean? It means today is Tuesday. So if today's Tuesday, what day was it yesterday? Monday. How do we say Monday in Espanol? Lunes. And that means tomorrow is going to be Wednesday. How do we say Wednesday in Espanol? Miércoles. Okay, so let's talk about the date. So today's Monday, January 4th. So we're going to say the entire day together. How do we say today is? We say hoy es lunes. Today is Monday. 4 de enero de 2021. ¡Feliz Año Nuevo! ¡Feliz Año Nuevo! ¡Happy New Year! Hoy es lunes 4 de enero de 2021. ¡Feliz Año Nuevo! Happy New Year! So the next thing we're going to do is talk about vocabulary for the new year. So, Feliz Año Nuevo, Feliz Navidad, and Merry Christmas. And remember, in Latin American countries, Christmas is not over until after Three Kings Day. So technically, if you go travel right now and you go walk down the street, you can say Feliz Navidad, and they'll say Feliz Navidad back because it's still Christmas. So, Feliz Navidad, and then Happy New Year. Feliz Año Nuevo. Happy New Year. Resoluciones. Say the word with me. Resoluciones. That means resolutions. Does anyone have New Year's resolutions? My New Year's resolution is to read more. I love to read, but I haven't been dedicating as much time to it. So one of my resolutions is to read more. What is your resolución? Let's say the words together. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Año Nuevo. Resoluciones. Last one. Conteo. Conteo is a countdown. Conteo de 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feliz Año Nuevo. Happy New Year. I hope everybody enjoyed celebrating their New Year's Eve, and I hope everyone has good resoluciones, and I hope you stayed up for the conteo. Okay, so now that we've gone over days of the week, Christmas words that have to do with the New Year, we are going over Los Tres Reyes Magos, the Three Wise Men. It's the holiday that's going on this week. And then we're going to talk about weather and clothes. What are different clothing changes that we make due to weather changes? It's been a particularly warm Christmas in my opinion. But in the winter we wear certain things like camisas de manga larga, long sleeve shirts, and ropa caliente, warm clothing. And in the summer, we wear ropa fresca, cool clothing. So we're going to go over some pictures, and you guys will tell me what would be the best phrase to use for that. So that's what we will do at the end after we go over the 3 kings. And then you're going to tell me, what did you learn today? So before we get started with the vocabulary and the story that I brought today for the 3 Kings lesson, I'm going to play a short video that walks you guys through what it is. So some of you have heard about it, some of you have not, but just remember, technically in the Spanish-speaking world, Christmas is not over. Christmas ends after the celebration of the 3 Kings, or Los Tres Reyes Magos, and a lot of families make that their Christmas. That's when they get a lot of their gifts. So it's a very special time. So here is the video.
The 3 wise men, also known as the Magi, have long been a part of the traditional Christmas story. But who are the Magi, and what is their story? Magi were astrologers, meaning they studied the stars. Many years ago, this was considered a very legitimate science, and astrologers were highly respected individuals. According to the biblical story, in the nights leading up to, or on the night of, Jesus' birth, the Magi noticed an unusually bright star in the sky. They traveled across the desert in the direction of the star and eventually arrived in Bethlehem, where they met the newborn baby Jesus. As part of this tradition, it was said that the Magi brought with them 3 gifts: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Even though it is never stated how many Magi brought these items, since the number of gifts was 3, it has long been assumed that there were 3 Magi as well. In many customs, the Magi are even given names and identities. Melchior is a Persian scholar, Caspar an Indian scholar, and Balthazar an Arabian scholar. While most cultures recognize 3 Magi, other cultures have the traditional number of Magi established at 12. The gifts presented proved to be quite interesting. Gold is, of course, rare and expensive. Frankincense was used as a perfume, and myrrh was a very costly oil, normally used for anointing the dead, which is certainly an unusual gift to bring a child. It is the elaborate nature of these gifts that has led many to believe that the 3 men were kings. According to tradition, the Magi arrived some number of days after the birth of Jesus. The date recognized by many cultures across the Christian world is January 6th. This day has become a holiday known as Epiphany, but it is also referred to as 3 Kings Day in many countries. In fact, at one time, this holiday marked the conclusion of the Christmas season, which ran from Christmas Day through January 6th. Even in modern times, in many countries where 3 Kings Day and Epiphany are still celebrated, children have to wait until January 6th to open their gifts. The wise men are so well recognized and remain such a large part of the Christian Christmas story that they have even been honored with their own song. We 3 Kings is a traditional Christmas carol written by John Henry Hopkins Jr. in the 1850s. It was first seen in print in 1863 in Carols, Hymns, and Songs. Aside from the song, the Magi have also been featured in countless works of art, stories, movies, and are usually included as part of nativity scenes and plays during the Christmas season. They will certainly continue to be a part of the modern Christmas for many years to come.
Okay, so now that we know a little bit about Los Tres Reyes Magos, or the 3 kings, the other phrase is the 3 wise men, we are going to learn vocabulary about it in español. Repeat after me. Los tres reyes magos. Los tres reyes magos. Each reyes magos, or each rey mago, each king, tenía un camello. Had a camel. Tenía un camello. Baltasar, Melchor, and Gaspar are their names. So let's say them together. Melchor, Gaspar, Baltasar. Melchor was Belgian, Gaspar was Indian, and Baltasar was Arabian. Here are some decorations. And since I explained earlier, Christmas in Spanish-speaking countries ends after Los Tres Reyes Magos, so they keep their decoraciones up until after that. Okay, repeat after me. Pesebre. The pesebre is the manger, and here's Jesús, María, José, and Los Tres Reyes Magos. La estrella. La estrella. La estrella is the star, the North Star, that in the legend goes that the Tres Reyes Magos siguieron la estrella to get to where that they were looking for Jesus. So it helped them get to the pesebre, which is the manger. La estrella. Okay, repeat after me. Corona. Corona. I want you guys to think, what is a reason why anyone would use a corona? Well, I have one, is a cumpleaños, a birthday. Sometimes they put coronas on the birthday girl or birthday boy. For if someone dresses up as a king or a fairy or something, they have coronas. Camello. Camello. Camello is a camel. Camello. So we're going to look at a list of the countries that celebrate the three wise men. A lot of times they'll have processions, like we talked about before Christmas break. A procession is when the entire town or a group of people walk along together to get to a church or a place where they're gathering. Everyone's walking at the same time together, and sometimes people bring something. That's a procession. It's very common for the holiday of the three wise men. So due to being conquered by the Spanish, they brought the tradition of the three kings to Latin America and the Philippines. And there are many countries in the continent in which the three wise men tradition is celebrated. Mexico. In Mexico, they eat rosca de reyes, as we will see in the video. They have hot chocolate, coffee, and atoles. Atoles are like warm drinks that have different flavors. They enjoy everything on Three Kings Eve, which is January 5th. And in the rosca, in the bread, they hide little dolls, and whoever finds it has to make atole and tamales on February 2nd. So that's a Mexican tradition. In Puerto Rico, on Three Kings Eve, which is the 5th of January, the kids run around the park, they pick up grass, and they put it in shoe boxes. They put it underneath their bed so when the camels come, they can eat the grass and leave the gifts. Argentina. In Argentina, the kids celebrate the three kings in a very similar form to the Spaniards. They leave a letter inside their shoes, and that is where gifts appear the next day. In the Philippines, they put lamps in forms of stars on windows. In Paraguay, they celebrate Pascua de los Negros, which is a tradition that was born during the conquistador time. One day the slaves went to the street and they were dancing to the rhythm of the music and celebrating festivals, and that is how that tradition got started. And they celebrated, it's called Pascua de los Negros, and they celebrate dancing and the three kings through music. Rosca de Reyes. So I am showing a video as well that shows Rosca de Reyes. Rosca de Reyes is a Mexican tradition for the Day of the Three Kings, and it looks like this. And they hide baby Jesus inside the rosca, and whoever finds it gets good luck.
Hi, my name is Liz, and we're here at Ruben's Bakery, and featured here is a Three Kings cake. And so the significance of it has to do with the Three Kings visiting baby Jesus and commemorating his birth, and it's normally celebrated on January 6th. And there is a doll hidden inside the cake, and whoever gets that piece of cake with the doll inside is crowned as the king or the queen of the day, and they have to throw an amazing party for the 12th of February, and they're also in charge of buying next year's cake.
Okay, so now I'm going to read the story, the Three Wise Kings by Tommy de Paola. A word about the kings. The first written word about the kings appears in the Gospel of St. Matthew. His brief account tells of wise men who went to Bethlehem to honor the child who would become king of the Jews. Matthew does not give them names, nor does he say how many wise men there were. His only mention as to where they came from is that they followed a star from the east. Over the centuries, details about the wise men were added gradually. In the 2nd century, they were transformed into kings, and their number was determined. Early art from the period shows 2 to 4 figures, but 3 figures were used most often and persisted into later centuries, because Matthew had referred to 3 gifts. By the 8th century, each of the kings had a name, an area from which he came, and physical descriptions. Melchior was from Arabia and was depicted as an old man. Gaspar of Tarsus was young, and Balthasar of Saba was mature and was a black man. The Feast of the Three Kings, called the Feast of the Epiphany. It is celebrated on January 6, 12 days after Christmas, and in some countries this is the day in which gifts are given. In this book, I have chosen to paint the mother and child in the traditional pose referred to as seat of wisdom, throne of justice. This pose was frequently used in Romanesque paintings of the adoration of the kings. So this book has some beautiful art in it. As you can see, long ago in the East, in lands far from one another, there lived 3 kings, Melchior of Arabia, Gaspar of Tarsus, and Balthasar of Saba. Here they are. These wise men studied the stars. Each night they looked at the sky and wrote down where the stars were, where they had come from, and where they were going. So they were astrologers. They studied the stars and the planets. One night, a star that they had never seen before appeared in the sky. Each of the kings consulted his books and found that this new star was the sign that a great king was about to be born. So each king, not knowing about the others, set out to follow the star, to find the child king and to honor him. And each carried away with him a gift. Melchior took gold, Gaspar frankincense, and Balthasar myrrh. After many days and many nights, the three wise kings met. They found out that they were following the same stars, so they continued their journey together. And in a lot of the processions in Latin countries, Spanish-speaking towns, they will find men that look similar to depict them with different skin tones and different hair and different ages. But as they came near to Jerusalem, they lost sight of the star, and they did not know which way to go. "Let us ask the palace of King Herod," one of them said. "Surely Herod will know the birth of another great king." "Where is he that he has been born to be king of the Jews?" they asked. "We have seen his star in the east, and we have come to honor him." Now Herod, who was an evil man, was disturbed when he heard this. He wished to be the only king in that land. He went to his chief priests and learned men and asked them where this child should be born. "It has been written at Bethlehem in Judah," they told him. Those are the learned men, or the advisors to the King Herod, and that's what they told him. Herod sent for the three kings. "Go to Bethlehem and find out all about the child king," he said. "And when you have found him, come back and tell me so I may worship him too." The three wise kings set out for Bethlehem, not knowing that Herod wanted to destroy the newborn baby. And there in the sky once again was the star. They followed it until it stopped over the place where the child was born. Like a flame of fire, that star pointed out God, the King of Kings. And going into the place, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and falling down on their knees, they honored him. Then they opened their treasures and offered the gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. That night, as the kings slept, they were warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, for he wished to destroy the child. So the three kings, to keep Herod from finding the child, returned to their countries by a different way. The end.
Welcome to Granny's Book Nook.
Okay, el clima y la ropa, the weather and clothing. So, ¿qué tiempo hace? What is the weather? Repeat after me. ¿Qué tiempo hace? What is the weather? ¿Qué tienes puesto? What do you have on? ¿Qué tienes puesto? What do you have on? So I'm going to go over a few phrases that you guys should already know. So we're reviewing and recapping. And if you don't know them, now is the time to go over these. And remember that you can rewatch this video and go back and replay it as well. So we're going to do, the first one is está nevando. Right here. Excuse me. Okay, está nevando. Está nevando means it is snowing. Está lloviendo means it is raining. So we have está nevando, está lloviendo. Then we have hace frío. Hace frío. So maybe like on today, it's pretty warm outside even though it's January, which it should be cold. So if I go out there, I won't be hace frío because it's not really cold. But usually if it's nevando, you're going to say hace frío. Good. Now we're going to do hace calor and hace sol. What's the difference? Well, hace frío and hace calor are the opposite, right? So hace calor means it's hot. Hace calor. Hace sol means it's sunny. Usually, if there's sol, there will be calor. Unless it's like today, as you can see the sun shining through my window. So I'll say hace sol, pero no hace calor. But it's not hot. And the last one we have here is hace viento. In the winter, usually we'll go outside and say hace viento. It's windy. So let's look at the picture and let's determine which is the best expression to use for the picture. There's a car windshield. It's kind of wet, but as you can see, the road is snowy. So which phrase will we use? Will we say hace calor? No. Will we say hace sol? No, it's not sunny. ¿Está lloviendo? We could say está lloviendo if it is raining. Está nevando. It is snowing. Hace frío. So let's say those three one more time. Está lloviendo. It's raining. Está nevando. It's snowing. Hace frío. It is cold. This one's definitely rain. How do we say it's raining? Está lloviendo. Repeat after me. Está lloviendo. Then we have a very sunny day and it looks warm. We'll say hace sol. Hace calor. Hace sol. Hace calor. Está lloviendo. Is lloviendo snowing or raining? Lloviendo is rain. So we'll say está nevando. It is snowing. We're at the beach. It doesn't look that warm, but it is sunny. Está soleado. Or hace sol. Hace sol. It's sunny. Hace viento. It's windy. If we need an umbrella, si necesito un paraguas, está lloviendo. Está lloviendo. He is celebrating New Year's, but it is raining. Está usando un abrigo. He has a jacket on, una chaqueta. Está lloviendo. It's snowing. Sorry guys, it's raining. Okay? Ella tiene pantalones largos. She has long pants on. We don't know what the weather is, but we know largo is long and corto is short. Ella tiene pantalones largos, so it cannot be too hot because she has pantalones largos. Botas, boots. Hace frío. Hace frío. She's wearing pantalones cortos, short pants. Hace calor. Hace calor. Flip-flops en la playa, at the beach. Hace calor. Hace calor, it's hot. Tiene una chaqueta. Hace frío. Hace frío. Tiene un abrigo. Hace frío. Hace frío. Botitas, baby boots. We don't know, but we could say hace frío because of little booties. Sombrero. Aha. Hace sol. It's sunny. Hace sol. Okay, the one on the left is a toboggan. Hace frío. The one on the right is a cap. Una gorra. A cap. Say gorra. Cap. Hace calor or hace sol. It's hot or sunny. Okay, so those are the last ones. So now that's it for today. I want to go over what did we learn today? So I'm going to erase my board. And I want you to think back to the beginning of the lesson. What we went over first was los días de la semana, the days of the week. And la fecha, the date. We talked about New Year's Eve words. Feliz Año Nuevo. Nuevo. So I want you guys to go to your parents when class is over and say, Feliz Año Nuevo, Mama. Feliz Año Nuevo, Papa. Happy New Year. So we have the days of the week. Happy New Year. What else? Los Tres Reyes Magos. The three wise men. And when is it celebrated? El 6 de enero, January 6th. And we learned that in Mexico they eat rosca de reyes. In Puerto Rico they fill boxes with grass for the camels. And in those countries, that is when kids get their regalos, their gifts. And what were their names? We have Melchor, Gaspar, and Baltasar. Melchor, Gaspar, and Baltasar. And the last thing we learned was the weather and clothes. That was kind of a lot, but we're just starting out. So I'm going to go over the phrases of weather one more time with you. How do we say, like today, it's sunny? Hace sol. What if it's hot? Hace calor. What if it's cold? Hace frío. Okay. What if it's windy? Hace viento. Hace viento. What if it's rainy? Está lloviendo. Está lloviendo. And if it's snowy, está nevando. So next week we're going to focus on weather, clothing, and culture, the new country, Ecuador. I hope everybody has a great week. Feel free to watch the video again because it's a lot of vocabulary and we were off on break. Adios!